everyone, welcome back to Coach Craig Sports. Today is Tuesday, so we're going to be talking some Week 17 waivers. So this is the waiver wire episode for all you guys still playing out there. For everybody else, obviously, hopefully you guys won your championship. Hopefully it didn't come down to last night's game, especially if you're playing against Stephon Diggs or Josh Allen. If you had those guys, it was a real good day for you. But we'll get into the waiver wires for this week. Once again, I got a short list. If you guys have any questions at all, please let me know. Just let me know who's kind of available, what you're looking at, and I can help you from there as well. But these are the main guys that I'm looking at. So first off, we got Derek Carr. 21 out of 34, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, negative 2 yards rushing, but he did have a rushing touchdown last week. 25.24 fantasy points. This is 6 point per passing format. And he's owned in 42% of ESPN leagues, 39% of Yahoo leagues. He goes against Denver this week, which should be a pretty good matchup. You know, they don't really have much in terms of corners right now. So definitely could be a good matchup for him. Nelson Agholor, Darren Waller. Then next up, the only other quarterback that I do have on this list is Kirk Cousins. He was 27 out of 41 last week, 291 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 29.64 fantasy points. Owned in 33% of ESPN leagues, 56% of Yahoo leagues. So if you're playing in ESPN, there's a good chance he's out there. Yahoo, not quite as much. Goes against the Lions this week, and we've seen how terrible their defense has been this year, so definitely somebody you can play this week. Then I got to mention my boy, Jeff Wilson Jr. He was awesome once again. Top 5 running back last week. He played on 70% of snaps, 22 carries, 183 yards. Come on, guys. 2 targets, 1 reception, 21 yards, and 1 touchdown. 27.4 fantasy points. He's still right around that 60% ownership range, so there's a chance that he's out there, but some of them leagues might not be quite as active. But if he's out there in your league, you definitely need to keep picking him up this week. They play against Seattle. Once again, CJ Beathard's going to be starting, so they're going to lean more on that run. Then we got Malcolm Brown next. So Cam Akers is hurt with his high ankle sprain. Darrell Henderson left the game last week with a high ankle sprain as well. So pretty much you just have Malcolm Brown left. They also have 2 other rookies that are lower profile. Raymond Calais, the 7th round pick they sniped off of Tampa's practice squad earlier this season. And then Xavier Jones from SMU, undrafted rookie as well. But Brown played on 59% of the snaps this past week. 7 carries, 27 yards, 3 targets, 1 reception for 8 yards. He only finished with 4.5 fantasy points, but, he's going to have the workload. It's important to know Jared Goff is not playing in this game, so you're looking at John Wolford. So they're going to run the ball as much as they can, so I would not be surprised if Malcolm Brown gets 20 touches in this game. 32% owned in ESPN, 19 in Yahoo. Decent chance he's still out there. He played Arizona last week, who gave up that 183 yards rushing to Jeff Wilson, so it's definitely a good matchup. Then next up, we got Darryl Williams. I know everybody, myself included, kind of thought Le'Veon Bell would get most of the workload last week. It didn't end up that way. Darryl Williams, he played on 70% of the snaps, 10 carries, 46 yards, 6 targets, 4 receptions, 27 yards. Kansas City's probably going to be resting a lot of their starters this week, so he could definitely see some run here, especially with a more ground-oriented approach. 11.3 fantasy points last week. He's only owned in 2% of ESPN leagues, 3% of Yahoo leagues, so a pretty good chance that he's out there. Goes against the Chargers this week, who've had a very poor run defense overall this year. Then last but not least, we have Dare Ogunbowale, who, James Robinson was out last week. We didn't know who was really going to get the role between Ogunbowale and Devine Zigbo. Ended up being Ogunbowale. Played on 71% of snaps last week. 14 carries for 71 yards. That's actually pretty good. 5 targets, 3 receptions, 7 yards, 10.8 fantasy points. So definitely somebody you can plug and play if James Robinson doesn't play, especially if you're playing in PPR format. 4% owned in ESPN, 8% in Yahoo. Goes against the Colts this week. Not the best matchup in the world. But, Jacksonville, they don't have to lose this game to get the number 1 pick anymore. So, they're going to try at least. Then we move over to the wide receiver position. So first off, we got Michael Gallup. He had an awesome day last week. Played 83% of snaps, 8 targets, 6 receptions, 121 yards, and 2 touchdowns. 30.1 fantasy points, owned in 31% of ESPN leagues, 44% of Yahoo leagues. Goes against the Giants this week. And on paper, it's not the best matchup, but James Bradbury's probably going to be covering Amari Cooper, so Michael Gallup's going to have a very positive matchup. Then we got Nelson Agholor. Like I said earlier with Derek Carr, this is a very good matchup overall. He played on 77% of snaps, 6 targets, 5 receptions, 155 yards, and a touchdown, 26.5 fantasy points. He's only owned in 34% of ESPN leagues and about half of Yahoo leagues. Like I said, it's a very good matchup against the Broncos this week, and it's one he should be able to take advantage of. Then we got Kiki QT. He actually played on 63% of snaps last week, so a little bit down. I forgot to change the 80 on there earlier. 5 targets, 5 receptions, 54 yards, 10.4 fantasy points. You know, if you just need like a wide receiver 3 kind of plug in there, he could definitely be your guy. Owned in 27% of ESPN leagues, 43% of Yahoo leagues. Goes against the Titans defense that has struggled very much against the pass this year. Then last but not least, we got Jakobi Meyers. You know, he's been one of my boys as well. He played on 100% of snaps last night on Monday Night Football. 6 targets, 4 receptions, 45 yards. Not the greatest day overall, but he kind of fits into that Kiki QT territory. You know, if you need somebody to fill in as your third wide receiver this week, should definitely be a good one. 8.5 fantasy points. 36% ownership in ESPN, 32% in Yahoo. Goes against the Jets this week. It is a very good matchup. It's a matchup he was able to take advantage of for a big day the last time these two teams played on Monday Night Football. So definitely somebody to consider there. Then we move over to the tight ends, and we got Zach Ertz. Important to talk about him. He played on 85% of snaps this past week. Dallas Goedert's a little bit banged up now. Ertz saw 7 targets, 3 receptions, 33 yards, 6.3 fantasy points. He's owned in about half of leagues, 52% in ESPN, 54% in Yahoo. Goes against Washington this week. Not the best matchup in the world, but not the worst either. So definitely a matchup that he could probably take advantage of, especially if he's given those targets once again. We got Irv Smith Jr. had a great week last week. You know, he played on 88% of snaps, 9 targets, 6 receptions, 53 yards, 2 touchdowns, 23.3 fantasy points, owned in 6% of ESPN leagues, 15% of Yahoo leagues. Good chance he's still out there. Goes against that really pathetic Lions defense once again. Then last but not least, we got the defenses to consider streaming for Week 17. So Arizona is at the top of the list once again. You know, 36% owned in ESPN, 43% in Yahoo. They go against the Rams this week. And the Rams, you know, they're down their top 2 running backs. They're down their quarterback. So it should be a very good game for Arizona. Bounce back game for them. It's one they need to win to get into the playoffs. Then I got the Jets. And, you know, this might be a shocker to a lot of you guys. But the Jets defense has played well recently. There's a good chance that Jarrett Stidham starts this game, and he's not been very impressive so far in his short NFL career. Definitely could be a matchup they take advantage of. And at very worst, New England's offense is not very explosive, so it's not like they're going to kill you. Then last but not least, we got Minnesota. I know they got torched by the Saints last week, but, you know, they're going against the Lions this week. Matthew Stafford might not play, so you just got Chase Daniel at quarterback. It's nothing too scary there. It's a matchup that they should be able to take advantage of. 33% in ESPN, 40% in Yahoo. So definitely some defenses to consider streaming this week for sure. But with that being said, these are my waiver wire picks for this week. If you guys have any questions regarding waivers at all, if you guys are still playing in Week 17 and you need advice with anything at all, feel free to reach out to me, whether it's down in the comments, at my email, coachcraigsports@gmail.com, on Twitter at Coach Craig Sport, or on the Coach Craig Sports Facebook page. With that being said, if you guys liked and enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Greatly appreciate it. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. You know, it really helps build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports. And that's one for you, the viewers, helping you guys with your fantasy football teams, helping you enjoy fantasy football, and hopefully bringing home some championships as well. You know, part of fantasy football is winning those championships. Part of it is having fun as well. So even if you had some bad breaks this year, you know, you still got to enjoy the whole season. With that being said, if you're a new or current subscriber who is yet to do so, also hit that notification bell. It lets you know every single time I post up a video. Like I've been saying, post about 5 videos a week. There is no Thursday Night Football game this week, so I won't be doing the starts and sits preview for that one. Tomorrow I'm going to consider making a video about that Dwayne Haskins situation now. I know some of you were kind of interested in that, so definitely something I'm going to look into, kind of do a quick video. Probably only end up being, you know, 5, 6, 7 minutes or so, but just kind of an overview on that. You know, Dwayne Haskins was never somebody I was super high on, and a lot of these issues make him concerning going forward. But with that being said, that's all I got for today's video. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed. Hopefully you guys did very well in your Week 16 matchup, whether it was in the championship or the semifinals. And if you need anything at all, please be sure to let me know. And with that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.